The second to last guide we're going to cover is back on the TERA forums from EME by Koroem. I'm not sure if that's how you say his name, but I gotta give him credit because this guy wrote a book about TERA FPS improvements. There's just pages of stuff worth of information here that's all about FPS improvements through sweetfx and through Nvidia Inspector, which is the next thing that we're going to look over. This guide is huge. This guy put in tons of effort with pictures, descriptions, and everything on how to improve FPS in TERA. I gotta give him credit because this guy really did some work here. But we're not going to be going over the post-process injection sweetfx. I'm not sure about EME's stance on this, and I don't want to cross any grounds with it. Although there are some actually big improvements to be had with sweetfx, I won't be including them in this video, and I'll have to include them in either a different video, or if EME gives the go-ahead, I'll make another video with just these sweetfx FPS changes. So we've come to it. The coolest thing that Nvidia users have, Nvidia Inspector, that lets you customize every little piece of your game that you want to change with all sorts of different values. The guide by Koroem on the EME forums, which I will include a link for in the video description. You'll have to scroll down to this green section, MSAA, SGSSAA, SSAA, Nvidia Inspector Only, Nvidia GPU. And here you'll find out exactly what these three terms mean, a little description about them, and a link to a website where you can find more about anti-aliasing should you want to educate yourself further. But for us, we're just going to follow the directions that he has, because he seems, or he or she, I don't know, but has seemed to have picked values that work the best. The first thing we'll need to do is get Nvidia Inspector. So you want to go ahead and open up this link here, and it'll take you to this page. You'll see version 1.9.7.3. All you'll have to do is scroll down to the bottom, click on this link to start the download or to get to the download page. And it should start after a couple of seconds and finish. You'll then want to open it up, you'll get the WinRAR message. You can just go ahead and click out of that if you have WinRAR or whatever other zip program you have. You'll open up that and you'll be greeted with all of these files. Now, you'll want to create a folder somewhere. I simply created a folder on my desktop called Nvidia Inspector so I can always access it easily and quickly. And you'll want to go ahead and put all of these things in that folder. Now, of course, you don't need the guru, you don't need this download thing, but you will need the custom setting names, the changelog, Nvidia Inspector, and Nvidia Inspector.exe config. You will need all four of these in this file. If you don't bring all four of these into this file, you'll get errors. You'll be missing certain lines, you'll be missing certain options, you'll be probably missing certain games in these options. I had this same problem before when I first downloaded it, so make sure you get these four things. These two aren't needed. I don't exactly remember what they are and I don't feel like clicking on them, but you need this, 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 and this in order for it to work properly. Then, since it's on a file in your desktop and they're all together, all you simply have to do is click this .exe, be greeted by the administrator rights message, and this window will pop up. If we go back to our guide, we'll see the same thing pop up here and a little highlight on these gears icon. You'll want to go ahead and click that gear icon and it'll open a new window. Now this window will take you to your global driver profile, but we don't want to deal with the global driver, we want to deal with TERA. And that should give you two options here, some other game that I've never heard of and the game we're looking for. Now my values are going to look much different than yours. Yours are mostly going to be blank zeros and not many changes here because I've done changes from this guide and the last guide I'm going to show you. Whoops. So here we can see some changes that he's made here under anti-aliasing compatibility. He has changed it. I keep saying he, but I need to use gender neutral. In any case, we need to find anti-aliasing compatibility. Unfortunately, there's no find function, but there it is. So anti-aliasing compatibility, mine is set to this 100 C5 Gears of War. So I have it set to MSAA. But there's also an option for SSG SSA if you read this guide up here and think that that's going to work better for you. So you can choose that one instead. I happen to find that this one works the best for me, so I've gone with 000-100C5. Under the anti-aliasing heading, so anti-aliasing heading, you'll want to set your behavior flags to none. Do not miss this setting. The author makes it very clear not to miss this. I also want to go over something with Nvidia Inspector that if you click on a value like this and go to scroll down to a new setting, there is a chance that this will change. So whenever you change values in Nvidia Inspector, whether you select something else or you leave it there, always use the sidebar to move down. You want to use this to navigate. You don't want to accidentally change these values to something else, something you don't want. Now, anti-aliasing mode, we want to change this to override any application settings because we don't want TERA trying to do anti-aliasing. We want the Nvidia driver to do anti-aliasing, nothing else. We want this to handle it. So now the anti-aliasing setting is going to be next, which is right here. Setting. No, that's not it. It's something different. My mistake. Where is it? I'm not quite sure where this setting is. He has it right there. So it is this. I have it on 4x4 multi-sampling, which is not the lowest. This user has it on, I believe, 2.2, as he states later. But I left it on 4. That seems to work for me. If you have a less powerful GPU, you may need to turn this down. If you have like an SLI, 980 desktop version, you can probably pump this up to pretty damn high. But I'm going to leave mine there. That's where it works for me. I'm not going to touch it. Anti-aliasing super sampling. Choose your value, whatever you want to do. I have it off as multi-sampling. I believe that's because of the last guide I'm going to show you had me set it here, so I'm going to leave that where I have it. And as you can see on this guide, these are the values this user changed. You can change it to exactly as he has here, or what I have here, which I believe, as I'm saying, is in the next guide I'm going to show you. The most important piece about Nvidia Inspector is when you've applied changes to hit apply. Always hit apply. I've had times where I've accidentally closed this and I had to go and redo all of it all over again. Always make sure you hit apply, maybe even twice, 3 times, however many satisfies you before you hit that exit button. And that's it for this guide, but I still suggest you really go check this out because there's also some other downsampling if you're a very computer savvy person and you can do this type of thing. There's definitely FPS improvements to be had here. I won't be doing them. I'm not talented enough for this, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that. If you attempt it, have fun. But I'm going to leave it here for this guide at this. This guy wrote a plethora of information and is definitely worth a read for any FPS improvements and just for general knowledge. And we'll move on to the last guide next.